how expert product marketing can boost your startup. Well, today you learn game-changing product marketing tips from Sirarpi, the product marketer for IT startups.
The first thing that the person sees on the website is what you do. You should not compete with AI, but you need to make it your friend.
AI is like an immigrant. It learns fast, works hard, and is here to take your job.
Research takes time, and lots of founders don't understand.
And also not promise something the development team hasn't developed yet.
Another common mistake is not having a clear value proposition. Lots of companies are like, yeah, because this is my idea, it cannot not work.
Hey Top Guns, and welcome to the channel. And today we're gonna be talking about product marketing and how it can totally transform your IT startup. And actually, how you literally can't survive without it. Stay glued to the screen, no vague advice today. We're talking business here. Let's go. Hi, Sirarpi, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Olga. Thank you for having me.
Could you please share a little bit about your background and how you actually got into product marketing?
Yeah, it's actually a really interesting story because when I started an internship as a marketer, we worked for a Shopify tool, and for this process, my manager was a really good manager and involved me in all of the processes to understand the IT industry in general. And I was involved in lots of decision-making, discussions, development, and so on. And because I took part in communicating with the clients, I also got back to designers, developers, to all of those teams. That's when I just realized that I need to dive deeper into this. And I really love it. This is already 6 years that I'm in the industry. I've worked for lots of reputable companies.
I think that you worked with different type of companies, like were both reputable, and
yes.
I think you worked with startups as well. And
yes.
Since most of my audience is a startup, so could you maybe, based on your experience, tell me what do you think is like the biggest marketing mistakes that some IT founders make?
First of all, starting marketing late. As soon as you start working on the product, you should start working on marketing alongside with it, because there is lots of research involved. There is a lot to cover marketing-wise. For example, you need to have competitor research, direct and indirect competitors. You need to analyze the market. You need to understand who your buyer persona is. Are those people actually going to switch to your product? Are they going to pay for this? Because this payment, you might talk to audiences and go by the book, talk to people and interview them. They will be like, of course I will pay for this product, and then they disappear. So lots of people are interested in becoming early adopters unless it's free, unless they have benefits, but when the time comes to pay for the product, they disappear. So this is why you need to start marketing early on. You need to understand the target audience, your buyer persona. You need to craft the right messaging. And another common mistake is not having a clear value proposition. When I talk to startup owners at the first stage, I constantly ask, what makes your product unique? They are like, yeah, because this solves a certain problem, but they don't have a clear statement of what makes them different and why somebody should choose them. And of course, the main mistake is not being data-driven. Lots of companies are like, yeah, because this is my idea, it cannot not work. It's a genuine idea. It's a great idea. How can it not work?
Very guilty. And I understand that you developed certain go-to market strategies for those startups. So what would be your approach to those go-to-market strategies for new products?
You need to make thorough research. As I said, there are lots of researches you need to understand, you need to do and understand your target audience, their needs, their competitive landscape. And then you need to define the product value proposition, what makes it stand out. And then if it's clear, you need to have a detailed buyer persona, a tailored messaging across all the channels. You need to understand what channels are best to reach out to your target audience. It could be social media, email marketing, partnership, industry events, or reaching out to industry influencers. And then I also work closely with sales and development teams to ensure we are all aligned. And of course, it's also important to gather feedback from early users to see what their pain point is, what's their difficulty with the tool.
You mentioned that you collaborate with different teams, like across the company. The product marketer is involved in all stages, as I understand, of the development. So how do you collaborate with other teams? What teams do you collaborate with?
First of all, the product management, because product managers are heavily involved in talking to stakeholders, to like business owners. They know the product vision in general, and they are able to communicate this to us. And we communicate with the salespeople, with developers, because the pain points that sales representatives have is very different than those of developers. And if the company has customer support, we also talk to customer support because they provide real value, and we get the FAQ. What are the frequently asked questions and what they are answers, and if there is a clear pain point that we understand that we need to solve, or something, a feature that we do not have but we should because it's asked a lot, we understand if this need to be like prioritized and added to our roadmap or not.
You mentioned the target audience, that one of the first steps you do as a product marketer. So how do you identify and define your target audience for this new product that has no audience?
First of all, you conduct market research because when you conduct a market research, you understand who your buyer persona is. Well, of course, you need to make competitor research, like your direct and indirect competitors, to see who they are selling to, who is interested, and understand what are the main problems that your product solves. If you understand the main problem and your product vision, it becomes easier to understand who your target audience is. And of course, location is very important, age, gender, and so on. So when you start your research, it automatically becomes like clear who your first and second buyer persona is. And of course, using different channels. For example, when I work on a new product, I definitely check out Reddit communication. I subscribe to different subreddits to see what they are talking about, like what are the real pain points that our target audience is talking about. You can make lots of different research, but understanding the people who are not familiar with your product but want to like find a solution, it's very important. And then of course nowadays ChatGPT also helps because but you need to use it wisely. I ask ChatGPT to give me like data, and I make sure to ask it to cite the sources that it used to see if it's accurate, and I go check the sources, but it reduces the time that I spend on finding these resources.
And you mentioned like at a second step that you have to create like a messaging or branding, whatever. So can you walk us through the process of this product positioning on the market?
First of all, you need to make research. This is the first step in product marketing. You cannot ignore this. And when I talk to new startups, I see this is often overlooked, and lots of them are not doing any research. Yeah, they know one or two competitors, and that's it, but that's not enough. So do market research and create your buyer personas, and like these are the foundational steps. Then this helps you identify the unique value of the product and see what is the key messaging that will work. And then you develop a clear positioning statement. Like, for example, you highlight the product unique benefit and the differences in the market. And then you create the messaging that is tailored across different social media channels. For example, you might need to use blog articles or nowadays video marketing. And then you also ensure that all the marketing materials like are clearly communicated with all of your teams, because it's very important that your marketing and sales teams are aligned and are on the same page. One more important thing is to know the roadmap, to understand where you are at the roadmap stage, because it really helps. If development team works and you are not familiar with what they are working on, it really hurts. You need to be involved in those stages to align your marketing messaging and your marketing campaigns, the right timing with the right releases.
Like any tools you might be like suggesting that, or tools or methods that you use to gather those marketing insights?
For example, Brand24 and all of those recommendations, I don't have anything to do with them.
Yeah.
I just want to like make it clear. I would use Brand24 because it's a very insightful tool, and it helps you understand what people are talking about your brand or the industry. So you get these keywords, and based on these keywords, you understand what's going on in the market, and it sends you automatic notifications when your brand is mentioned. Then, of course, it's Google Alerts. I would suggest using SEMrush. I really love this tool. Another one is Ahrefs, and this is also good. Like, you need to use both SEMrush and Ahrefs and see which one is better for you. And there are also lots of buyer persona creation tools. For example, HubSpot. If you type HubSpot buyer persona, you will get all the information you need.
After you do all of this research, so what metrics do you consider like the most important when you evaluate the success of this product marketing strategy?
First of all, the metrics usually, the key point indicators usually come from the product manager, because their evaluation of the product vision is important. And then we take their KPI and understand what KPI should we have. For example, in the initial stages of our marketing efforts, it could be, for example, getting LinkedIn followers. This is a KPI because we need an awareness stage. Like in marketing, you have this awareness, consideration, and decision, and also delight stages. So you need to have awareness. We have different KPIs for awareness stage. You create awareness about your brand identity, so that people know you, follow you. And then after you create this awareness, this is a different KPI. For example, website visits, how much website visitors you have per month, and what is the metrics month over month. Do you have an incline or decline, and what's the difference, how you can improve it? Social media followers, social media engagement. So first of all, engagement is very important, and then when you go to like this consideration stage, you understand how many prospects do you have, how many leads do you have, and out of those leads, how many are qualified. And in the delight stage, of course, it's we pass them to the sales reps, so that they can close those who are heavily interested in this product.
That's very like insightful that you mentioned different stages, like because some founders might want to jump like to let's hit the quota of 50K per month of sales when their product doesn't even have awareness on the market. And yeah, I mean, I've met with this one personally, and it's good that you mentioned that.
Exactly. And I struggled a lot when you work for a new startup. Like it's a really brand new, there is nothing done, and you have to have all those foundations. There's lots of documentations that you need to have in place. You are not forever, and someone might replace you, right?
Yeah.
So you need to have all of these documentations. You need to have an onboarding for your upcoming team members, and this takes time. Research takes time, and lots of founders don't understand. I was working on a product, and after 1 month we parted ways, because this person was like, I'm sorry, I don't understand what you are doing, because you are doing research all the time. The startup closed because lots of things weren't in place. I would highly recommend every startup owner to have at least a bit of marketing background, because if you have a new startup and you want to have like thousands of users, it's not going to work, because you need to go through all of these stages. You need to create awareness so that you are trusted.
Absolutely. Publicity helps, and brand awareness helps, even if it's a personal brand or whatever. Exactly, yes, absolutely. Yeah. You can jump straight into the selling stage unless you even know that your product is wanted. On the stage, when you gather this like customer feedback, so how do you actually do that, and how do you actually use it to improve your marketing effort?
Interviews, like in-person interviews. I mean, in-person, like one-on-one interviews via Zoom or Google Meet. We have a set schedule of all of those people who are interested and who are happy to provide feedback. Using forms like Google Forms is also a good idea, but you want to talk to your clients and see like their pain point. Why are they using your tool? Why are they using the competitor? How likely is it that they can switch to your competitor? What they think the others have that you don't. If you have an application, in-app reviews, in-app feedbacks also help, because after they do a certain action, after this action, you can ask like, evaluate something, and you give a 5-star rating.
It's just important not to make it a 5-minute survey.
What I noticed in successful applications, what they do is they have one feedback section per one action.
From your experience, what are like the most common challenges that you as a product marketer face while doing your strategies and your campaigns?
The main challenge actually is our clients switching to competitors, and this lack of feedback that we don't know why we have a churn rate. It's one of the main challenges. And another challenge is a go-to-market strategy. Sometimes if there is no good, clear communication with all the team members, with all the stakeholders, your go-to-market strategy might fail, and you might not understand why you don't have this feedback from your customers to understand what was wrong. And another thing is like regulations, changes, constant changes. For example, a year ago, marketing strategy would be really different, and now with all the rise of AI, it's a challenge, a good one, but still a challenge to adapt and to understand what else you can do, like what you can change in your marketing strategy.
AI is like, yeah, an immigrant. It learns fast, works hard, and is here to take your job.
You should not compete with AI, but you need to make it your friend.
Still, there could be like cases when it doesn't go as planned, and a lot of them, I dare say. So how do you handle a situation when the product isn't performing as well as you expected? So what do you do?
First of all, we look at the data. What's going on? Like we go back and check our messaging. We go back to our website and see what is the bounce rate. If it's very high, we need to understand what the problem is. Maybe the website is very slow. Maybe the messaging isn't compelling. What really happens is that the messaging is vague, especially now that people started using AI to write their messaging. The messaging becomes really like all over the place. You go to a website and you don't understand what's it about. So we gather feedback from the customers, from everyone, from internal and external stakeholders, to see what the problems could actually be, and we understand our action plan, what we need to do to make it better. The first thing that the person sees on the website is what you do. It's important to have this clear value proposition and research to understand what the pain point is. What else we did is we did A/B testing to see if it's the issue with the visuals or with the marketing messaging, because sometimes the messaging is good, but the visual is not appealing, and you need to ask the graphic designer to change it, to make changes. Maybe the UI UX designer needs to make any changes on the website. So I highly recommend doing A/B testing.
And from your perspective, like that's a personal question, what is more important, the messaging or the visuals?
Messaging. Because visual, you can say, I don't like this visual, and it's personal, but maybe your audience does. You need to be data driven. If you analyze the data, you will see where the gap is, but do not base anything on your personal likings, not in marketing or in development and design.
Absolutely. I can 100% agree here. And let's go back to the future, because I'd like to learn your perspective on the future trends. Since we mentioned AI, what like emerging trends in product marketing do you think IT startups should pay more attention to?
Personalized marketing, because AI, not generative AI, but machine learning and all of this make it easier to personalize your messaging, to analyze and understand what else you can offer your clients, what else is missing. And another thing is video content, especially short form video content. People are now more eager to consume video content. So you need to highlight video marketing more than, for example, blog articles. But on the other hand, email marketing for B2B works really well. Some people are like, yeah, it doesn't work. Believe me, email marketing, don't overlook it. Email marketing works well. It's not the future, it's always there.
It's old
But
school.
yeah, it's old school, but it's going to be always there now and in the future as well. And also inbound and outbound differences. For example, this year we noticed that marketers started to complain that they have less inbound leads than it was last year. So taking a look at, we are going back actually, because taking a look at outbound ways of generating leads is getting more and more important.
It never gets old. Yeah, you have to reach out to your audience if you want to get any sales. So you mentioned that like we should be like friends with AI and use more AI. How else like AI tools can help us? AI, data analytics, maybe in product marketing. So how does it work in product marketing?
Well, one of the ways that we incorporated AI is AI cold calling. It's kind of a mix of outbound and inbound marketing. What we did with AI cold calling is we developed a tool. I work for a lead generation company that concentrates mostly on outbound lead generation. The way we implemented outbound marketing with AI is we created an AI cold calling tool that instead of having a salesperson that calls like 10 people per day or 100 people per day, you give this AI tool data, for example, 2,000 contacts, and it connects with those 2,000 contacts automatically and asks them permission to send them emails, for example, so that you are GDPR compliant. And then those who clicked on the messaging start receiving inbound emails. They get to our lead nurturing campaigns. So incorporating AI is very important, and we did it to make our job easier.
If you don't use AI tools, you're missing out. And you're already like behind the competition.
A real spike in our client analytics. Whenever we have this AI cold calling days, their website visit like triples.
Product marketing is vital for any startup founder. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, it is.
How can IT startup founders find you and reach out for potential collaboration?
LinkedIn. I'm very active, as I said, on LinkedIn. I am very open to new communication. I'm open to help.
Thank you, Sirarpi, so much for sharing this and for this like close to the point marketing tips today. And thank you so much. And I'll leave all the links to your profiles below.
Thank you.
Top Guns, if you need to bring your product to the market or conduct a marketing research or create an appealing message, you know who to contact and how to do that properly now. And if you want to learn more how to sell to B2B businesses, make sure to check out this video next. I'll see you there.